Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living. I'm Gary, and today what we're going to be doing is making sauce. These tomatoes come from my garden, and what happens is sometimes you get 2 or 3 ripe ones and they're just perfect for your meals, or what's been happening is that we got all of these tomatoes ripe all at one time. So instead of losing them, what we're going to do is make sauce. We're going to make marinara sauce. So come and see this video. Both Linda and I are going to be your hosts today, showing you how we do our vegan sauces. See you in a little bit.
Welcome to Healthy Vegan Living, a whole food, plant-based lifestyle.
Hi, I'm Gary's wife, Linda, and I want to show you 2 methods for preparing tomatoes into sauce today. The first technique is to scald the tomato in boiling water. That's to get rid of the skin. And then, in order to turn it into sauce, we're also going to cut the tomatoes and remove the seeds. The seeds can impart a bitter taste, which is why you don't want them in your sauce. So come with us. Our first step is going to be to take this stock pot and get the water boiling, and I'll show you how easy it is to scald a tomato.
So this is the range we're going to do, and the first thing we do is we're going to turn the heat on high. Then I'm going to pick up the pot and stick it over the top. Now that's going to take some time. The next step we're going to do is wash our tomatoes before we put them in the pot. Right, Linda?
And we're also going to put a lid on the pot because it will boil faster if it has a lid. I've got to find the proper lid to fit it.
No, it's too big. Might be that one. Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is wash each tomato. Linda's already set up on the side here a towel. While I'm at it, I'm also removing the green stem from each tomato. You're going to zip this through because you don't want to see me do washing tomatoes.
So I'm grabbing a handful of the cherry tomatoes, removing the stems. They've all been washed in a colander, and just making sure by touch that there's no remaining sand or anything on the tomatoes.
So why are we using the cherry tomatoes, honey?
Because we've got more than we want to eat, and we want to try 2 different types of sauces. One where we incorporate the skin, which is going to be the cherry tomatoes, and one where we scald the skins off the big ones, because it's easier to scald a big tomato than a little one.
Okay, so we'll see you all in a few minutes. Alright, so what we're doing here on the small cherry tomatoes, what we're doing is we're physically just squeezing out the seeds. See, like this? And you want to save the pulp. You want to do it as fast as you can because your water is cooking in the background, as you already know. It's on the stove. We want to do this. Let me show you a couple more times of these. You want to cut it right on the stem. So find the hole, the stem where it was at, cut down the center, and then squeeze it. And if you had like a couple hundred of these, I'm going to tell you that you would not be spending as much time as I'm doing these little tomatoes. You'd be doing it a lot faster. Alright, so I'm going to finish doing this, and then we're going to show you the next step.
We're going to scald these tomatoes to remove their skins. It's the first part of the cooking process. So we're going to carefully set the tomatoes into the boiling water. We're going to try and get them all in about the same time. Then we're going to scald them for 1 minute for smaller tomatoes, 2 minutes for the big tomatoes. Because the bigger the tomato, the longer it takes for the heat to get all the way through. Then we're going to show you how quick and easy it is to peel a tomato once it's scalded.
So here's a big tomato.
Gary used the slotted spoon to set the tomatoes into the boiling water in order for it to not splatter him with the super hot water and burn him. You need some sort of a system to not splash.
Okay.
The tomatoes have scalded for 2 minutes now, so Gary's going to remove them from the water with the slotted spoon, and we're going to get ready to remove their skins.
Okay, what you see right here is tomatoes that have been deseeded. Shows you that just 8 tomatoes produces this much juice and seeds. And this over here is the flesh of the tomatoes. What we're going to do next is we're going to do the second batch, and then I'm going to, which is right here on the stove top, and let's do these other tomatoes that are in the bowl and near the pot. And then I'm going to show you how to remove the skins, and I'm going to show you how to deseed them. Now this is truly a labor of love. If you're going to be doing this on a regular basis, use Roma tomatoes. They're a type of tomato that's specifically made for making sauces. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, on the second set, Linda is going to tell you some stories of what happened in her childhood while she was peeling tomatoes. Okay, so for now we're going to wait for the water to boil, and we'll show you the next step. Alright, peeling. It's really nice when you have a peel that's partially broken. You see how you're just peeling it right off like that. What I'm doing presently is I'm saving the peels. Okay, just like that. You can get a little bit of a knife started. Get that peel off, and this one will just go to the side, and I'll deseed it in a minute. Got to get the peels off right now. It'll make it a lot easier if we do it now while they're hot. It gets a little harder if they start cooling. Alright, well, you get the idea now. I've done about 4 of them. You take your tomato and you cut it in half. And then you physically are pulling the seeds out of it. Now, sometimes you have to quarter it again. And you want to get those seeds out. Okay, and what it is you're keeping the pulp. The seeds are all gone, drop it in. Same thing here. Sometimes what you can do is you can squeeze them, and you can, see now that's skin right there. You can just pick it up. Just save the pulp. Get rid of all the seeds. So we'll do the other side. Now these green things on the top here, you want to cut that off. That goes with the peels. And then you just pick up your tomato and you just take the pulp out. And you're really pulling the seeds out. Okay, so you're doing the same thing. And you just do this over and over and over. Easy. And that's why I'm saying it's a labor of love. Because when I have my tomato meals, I use diced tomatoes that someone else has already done. It's in a can. They're fresh tomatoes I save for my salads. But we had a really booster crop this year, our first ever since we moved here, and we definitely want to take advantage of it. Make our own vegan sauce. I do a lot of cooking with tomatoes.
While Gary continues getting the tomatoes prepped to cook them into a sauce, I'm going to tell you how I learned how to do these tricks. When I was a teenager, my mother used to be a real estate lady, and she would go out to the farms in Indiana, and many times the farmers would give her gifts of different produce. One of the things she loved getting was tomatoes, because she would have us help her can the tomatoes, and we would have fresh tasting tomatoes all winter long, especially at Christmas time. So we would all gather in the kitchen when Mom was ready to scald the tomatoes. And we put them into a big pot of boiling water, and then we scalded them for a couple of minutes. We then took the peels off, and we kept ours whole because Mom wanted the option of being able to use the tomatoes in whatever way she chose to. We would take the whole tomatoes, drop them into the ball jars carefully, and then she would put them into a special pot that held the jars, and she sealed the lids on, and we put them on the cupboard shelf, and we had tomatoes all year round. Some of the other produce she used to do that with too are peaches and beets, and some of the peaches we would turn into spiced peaches. So we're going to continue with the preparation of these tomatoes and show you how we start to cook them down into sauces next.
So this is the end of part 1, and in part 2 you're going to learn, we're going to show you the next step.
If you like what you see, subscribe. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.